So hello guys, welcome to another video, another Cisco Networking Academy video, and for today I will be making a summary about the chapter 2, which is configuring a network operating system. So let's get started with the PowerPoint. So in chapter 2 we have the introduction, the iOS bootcamp, getting basic, and addressing schemes, and the summary. So Cisco iOS operating systems, all networking equipment dependent on operating system. The operating system of home routers is usually called firmware. Cisco iOS collection of network operating system used on Cisco devices. So the operating systems are important for the networking devices because it gives off the functions that can be made, or the services that can be made by the devices to establish a network. And a device cannot work without the operating system, but of course it depends on the device. If it is a if devices are just like some simple devices like remotes, so that's far from having a operating system, but of course it has its own system. But what I'm pointing out here is that the operating systems are used in devices with like having a storage, like switches and routers. So let's go on to the next one. Location of the Cisco iOS. So Cisco iOS stored in flash, non-volatile storage, not lost when power is lost, can be changed or overwritten as needed, can be used to store multiple versions of iOS. iOS copied from flash to volatile RAM. Quantity of flash and RAM memory determines iOS that can be used. So it is said here that Cisco iOS is stored in flash. It mainly gets stored in the main memory of the device. Also, it is stored in some non-volatile storage, which is whenever you lost some power with the device, you can still recover it from the loss, and can be changed or overwritten as needed. So once you needed to change something or overwrite, you can just easily manage the things that you want to change. Can be used to store multiple versions of iOS. So whether it is the old version or the new version in one storage, yes, you can store many of them. So it is copied from the memory to the flash memory to the volatile RAM. Of course, the memory is the main storage, and the RAM is the random access memory that enables the device to run some of the to run services with using some memory. And of course, quantity of flash and RAM memory determines the iOS that can be used. So the capacity of each, the memory and the flash memory and the RAM memory, it determines how much of the services of the iOS that can be used. Telnet SSH and auxiliary access methods. Telnet, method for remotely accessing the CLI overhead network, require active networking services and one active interface that is configured. Secure Shell SSH, remote login similar to Telnet but utilizes more security. Stronger password authentication, uses encryption when transporting data. AUX port, out-of-band connection, uses telephone line, can be used like console port. So for Telnet, You have the remote accessing using the command line interface, and here you require some networking services to be active and also the interface to be active to be able to configure it. For secure shell, we need some remote login, but it is more secure than the telnet. It has stronger password authentication, which means it has more secure. It is more secured from attackers. So it uses encryption when transporting data. It encrypts the data before transporting to other devices. Auxiliary port uses telephone line out of band connection. So whether if you're not on the physical location of the device, you can still configure it by using some telephone line or the console port. So primary modes, we have the user exec mode and the privilege exec mode. The user exec mode allows only a limited number of basic monitoring commands and is often referred to as view only mode. So you can't do much in the user exec mode, but you can still discover some basic commands to use. Privilege exec mode. The privilege exec mode by default allows all monitoring commands as well as execution of configuration and management commands. So after the user exec mode, the next is the privilege exec mode, which is more functional than the user exec mode. So it allows monitoring commands and also some execution of configuration for the device. So global configuration mode and sub mode. So we have here your levels. So from the privilege exec mode, you can switch to the global configuration mode, which is more. They have different commands, and also after the global configuration mode, we have more configuration mode, which is from the active interfaces. So this is the structure of some prompts in the command line. Getting basic. So by the switch, creating a 2 PC network connected via a switch, setting name for the switch, limiting access to the device configuration, configuring banner messages, device names. So these are some guidelines. Start with the letter, contains no spaces, ends with the letter or digit. Use only letters, digits, and dashes. Be less than 64 characters in length. Host names allow devices to be identified by network administrators over a network or the internet. So this is used for to easily find the devices that you are configuring. For example, you have many devices. And you have named them each differently so that you can easily tell which is which. Securing device access, we have here securing the password. Enable password command limits access to privilege exec mode. Enable secret encrypted limits access to the privilege exec mode. Console password limits device access using the console connection. VTY password limits device access over telnet. So this is used for securing the passwords for devices and configuring devices and prevent some attacks or being configured by others. Secure privilege access exec access mode. Use the enable secret command, not the older enable password command. The enable secret command provides greater security because the password is encrypted. So this is an example of some scenario in the command line interface. So as you can see here, from the user exec mode, the user types enable and typed in the configure terminal to the privilege exec mode. So it goes to the global configuration mode, and there you will start to click the enable secret class to encrypt the password class. And once you exit and go to the user exec mode, and once you type enabled, it shows in the password, and after you type in the password, it will be invisible as you type, and it will go. After that, you can access the privilege exec mode. So addressing schemes, each end device on the network must be configured with an IP address. Structure of IPv4 address is called dotted decimal. IP address displayed in decimal notation, which with 4 decimal numbers between 0 and 255. With the IP addresses, a subnet mask is also necessary. IP addresses can be assigned to both physical ports and virtual interfaces. So here we can manually, in the IP properties, we can manually set up the IP address subnet mask in the default gateway, but also we can obtain it automatically as an option. Configuring switch virtual interface IP address together with subnet mask uniquely identifies end device on the internet network. Subnet mask determines which part of a larger network is used by an IP address. Interface VLAN 1 available in interface configuration mode. IP address 192.168.10.255.255.255.0 configures the IP address and subnet mask for the switch. So this is used for setting up the IP address and subnet mask for the switch to be able to connect with some other devices. No shutdown administrator enables the interface. Switch still needs to have physical ports configured and video lines to enable remote management. So for the summary, Cisco iOS, the technician can enter commands to configure or program the device to perform various networking functions. So this deconfiguring or programming the devices, Cisco net devices, technicians has the privilege to fix some configurations, but also we can still learn it. We can still learn to configure some by entering some of the commands that is given on each configuration modes. And services are generally accessed using command line interface, which is accessed by either the console port, the auxiliary port, or through Telnet or SSH. So we can access some of the services by using the command line interface and using some three methods in configuring a device. Once connected to the CLI network, technicians can make configuration changes to the iOS device. So once we're in the command line interface, then the technicians or we, if you have the ability to do so, to make configuration changes to the iOS devices. Cisco iOS is designed as a modal operating system, which means a network technician must navigate through various hierarchical modes of the iOS. So the Cisco iOS so it means that it's like a operating system that has many modes, and also it means that some network technicians can navigate some various modes for configuring the iOS. So Cisco iOS routers and switches support a similar modal operating system, support similar command structures, and support many of the same commands. In addition, both devices have identical initial configuration steps when implementing them in the network. So here it is in the last bullet it said that the routers and switches has the same operating system, and also similar similar commands with one another. And also once you have learned to configure, for example, you learn to configure some of the configurations in your routers, Then you can also apply it in the switches. So that is used for implementing some configuration in a network. Of course, here it is shown the user exec command and some commands available. So we have ping, show, enable, etc. So for here we have the privilege exec mode commands, the global configuration commands, interface commands router, the routing engine commands router, and the line commands router. So some of the commands in there, and we're done with this PowerPoint, and I hope you learned from this summary, and thank you for watching, and goodbye.